Up your game and celebrate things done well with the great taste of Original 16, official beer of the Calgary Flames. All right, welcome inside our Flames Postgame Live, brought to you by Original 16. Brendan Parker alongside Cory, Sarich, and another home ice victory for the Calgary Flames. Their schedule has been a little bit lighter, allowed for a couple of days off, and then they come back and get after it here today against the New York Islanders, and a team that, as we know, both of these teams hardworking, but have not allowed much here as of late, really either way. And it was a hard-fought game here tonight. Calgary Flames find a way once again in the third period to come from behind and get it done. How did you see it here tonight on a sleepy Tuesday?
I think the word is stingy. The defense was stingy, the offense was stingy, yep. And some stat lines do hold true. And you've got two teams out there that are at the top of the list when it comes to 3 goals scored 4 or less per game. Right. So I don't know if I mumbled that out correctly, but both teams have trouble scoring more than 3 goals. Sure. So that stat held true. But again, you just mentioned it, Brendan. You come off of a weekend where you get a couple days off. You've earned the trust of your coach to handle that the right way. You had a nice win in here against Nashville the other night. You had a shutout by Dustin Wolf. Now you've got to respond a couple days later after having that time to yourself. And the only way you really, truly want to do that as a player is with a win.
Yes.
It's critical. It means that it could potentially happen again down the road, that you'll earn yourselves a couple days off. So that was, that was kind of in the back of my mind with them entering tonight's game. And there were a few tough performances maybe for a few individual Flames out there. We won't name names. I mean, it took a little while for legs to get going, and things were a little sloppy, especially in the first period. But together as a collective, they figured it out and they got going. And I was really impressed with them weathering the storm at the start of that third period and then dominating the last 10 minutes of the third where they needed to. And they needed some momentum going into overtime. And again, they held true, they stuck with it, but again, wasn't the prettiest of victories.
Well, and I always wonder on a night like this where it does seem so hard. It seems hard to get shots through. It seems hard to get any time in the offensive zone. If that's a little bit, more opposition, or what teams are doing in their defensive zone, or if sometimes you're struggling or fighting it a little bit. And maybe it's a combination of both. But it did feel like that type of game where everything was hard through the first 40 minutes.
Yeah, and throughout the course of this game, though, we did see the Calgary Flames generate a few really great chances for individuals, and they just didn't capitalize again. Yeah. And then conversely to that, we saw the Islanders with a few spots where they broke out, and Dustin Wolf held sharp again. But yeah, the Islanders play that very sticky type of game. It's in the trenches. It's low scoring. So that is actually a credit to the Calgary Flames. They've done it several times already. You just had another game like that against Nashville. You knew you were going to expect it tonight. And when you come up with a couple of wins, that puts some belief in your group. So it's a really big reward for tonight.
Well, no question. And it's another come-from-behind win in the third period. And let's take a look at the goals. And this isn't going to be a super long goals pack. We've got lots of chances and lots of big saves to show you here as this post-game show rolls along, but here's how it started here tonight, and we'll re-rack that, but it's the Islanders that get on the board first. Scoreless after 1, Pierre Engvall makes a nice move. He had a chance moments before this, too, but Engvall makes it 1-0 on his third.
Yeah, Dustin Wolf had made a couple of nice saves, one of those being on Engvall, and then the puck comes in to him in space. Miromanov's in a really tough spot there. He tries to block the shot, and that maybe made it a little more difficult for Dustin Wolf to pick up that shot, but that's a beautiful move by a big, tall, rangy guy that pulled that puck a long ways.
Yeah, he did, and great finish there from Engvall, but here's where the Flames tie it, and it's their first power play of the game, and it was one that had some momentum to it. Even though it was late stages of that power play, the second unit finds a goal.
Yeah, we saw him yesterday. The Flames just in space with no defenders working on their power play movement, getting used to new bodies on the power play, new personnel, and this was a really quick, crisp power play. One of the best I've seen in probably the last little while that I can remember, and nice capitalization by Rasmus.
Overtime solved nothing. There was a couple good chances. We'll show you those too, but here's the shootout. Andrei Kuzmenko's the first goal scorer to find the back of the net, and does so with a nice, tidy little backhand at the top part of the net. And with the game on the line after Dustin Wolf had made a couple of saves, it was Justin Kirkland who does it on home ice again, almost a carbon copy of the goal that he scored in his first shootout winner. This was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, he comes in here, he makes Varlamov bite first, he goes down, puts that left pad down, and that's where he found that spot on the first night. didn't go quite as well for him on his second opportunity, but on this third one, he makes good. So I guess 66%. You'll take that.
You'll take it.
it.
Yeah, no question, especially when it leads to a couple of wins on the two that do find the back of the net. So Justin Kirkland does it again. They call him Mr. Automatic in the shootout, and at least on home ice, that has proven to be the case. 2-1 the final here tonight. The Calgary Flames get it done, and we'd be remiss. We'll go inside the room. We'll hear from some Calgary Flames players in just a moment, but you talked about the early part of the third, about the first 5 or 6 minutes. It was all New York, and without Dustin Wolf, this game might not have even had a chance to get to 1-1 later in this hockey game. What has Dustin Wolf meant to this group over the last 2 appearances?
Oh, he's been really steady. And again, at the start of the first period tonight, he made some huge saves to keep his team in the game right out of the gate. And when teams are pressing, you need your goaltender to stand strong. You got to weather the odd storm. They come within games. There's momentum shifts. And he's been up to the challenge. But again, I talked about it earlier tonight. Some of these point-blank saves that he's making, he's just in great position, so he's forcing the shooters to find the little spots, and they haven't yet on him. He's a guy that looks really mature in the net right now, and I attribute that to a lot of his starts last year. They got him in. They probably got the nerves worked over. Him and Dan Vladar have been a great tandem this year. They've been going back and forth, and you can see this young guy's confidence building.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch, and 28 saves tonight. He gives up the 1 goal, but that's it. So now 85 of 87 turned away in the last 2 nights for Dustin Wolf, and that's a pretty good body of work. Actually, last 3 starts in and so 1 goal allowed in his last 2 starts.
And
so,
do we have time for a little comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, well, we heard today Ryan Huska was asked a tough question in the media room.
Yeah.
You get obviously Dustin had the shutout the other night.
Sure.
Just like Dan had earlier, and they're going right back to him. So Ryan Huska was asked, is this going to be the rule? Is this going to be the standard? And he wouldn't bite on that. He wouldn't call it a rule, but he had a big smile on his face. Well, now there's a shutout and a really crucial win, and it's the first goaltender this year with back-to-back wins. So, Ryan, is that a rule?
Yeah,
we'll have to ask him in the presser tonight.
I guess we'll have to wait for the coach's decision coming up a little bit later on the postgame show, because it will be just that, and it will be interesting because he has been rock solid for the Calgary Flames and was one of the stars, in fact, the first star here again tonight. But before we hear from Dustin Wolf, let's get some reaction from the defenseman. Rasmus Andersson ties it up on a power play marker to get it to extra time.
Razzie, how do you describe that game?
An absolute grind, honestly.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah, it was just a grind in the trenches, and end up winning a shootout. Probably, it's a tough team to play against, right? They hit, they shoot, they block shots. So it was a game in the trenches, and it was, felt like you got hit all night, and But I'm proud that we stuck with it, and extra nice that special teams were the factor along with Wolfie. Wolfie was unbelievable in that, and especially the start of the third, and you really see that he's settling in, and he had a great night for us, and he saved us there at the start of the third, and then when I had my little meltdown over there, and he stood on his head, and he was unbelievable, and special teams were great.
Razzie, has he surprised you, Wolf, just the way he's kind of taken another step?
I don't think surprise is I think I touched on a little bit yesterday. You're more comfortable you get in this league, and the more you believe in yourself, the more success you're going to have, and he for sure believes in himself quite a bit, and he's been awesome, especially last 7-8 games he's played, and he as I said, he saved us tonight, and wouldn't say surprise, more he's getting more and more comfortable, and you can really tell in the way he played.
All right, some thoughts there from Rasmus Andersson post-game. We'll bring in another defenseman, Daniil Marmanov, and maybe just what was your interpretation? He used, what was the word he used? Grind, I think. It was a grind tonight.
Greasy,
yeah.
I called it stingy.
Stingy.
Yeah, it was, man. I'm just a hard-working team, so kind of expected a tough, very tight game, and, fortunately, they had the lead there, and, when we came back already a couple of times in the third this year, and then we were really confident in the locker room, like, boys, keep going, keep putting pucks on net. We're going to get chances. We're going to score. So huge shout out to the power play for, pulling up and scoring that huge goal, huge goal from him, and then big PK in overtime as well, and then Kuzi and Kirky did their thing in the shootout. So we're happy to get a win.
We saw you again tonight, Daniil, getting involved in the offense. You had a nice setup for Connor Zary in the first period. You had a little chance in front of yourself, although the puck wasn't cooperating. We really enjoyed watching you on that shift in the third period that helped shift momentum in your direction. What are you seeing getting up the ice and getting some chances? Were you adamant that you were going to do that with your play again tonight, or you just take it by feel when you get in the game?
I felt great today. I felt like I was going, so I was just trusting my body, and especially we knew that the Islanders had 1-1-3 neutral zone forecheck. So if we go D to D, we have some space to skate. So knowing that, I was jumping and I was looking for routes to go and where I can jump in and where I can go, and I was kind of feeling it a little bit, but I feel like I had way too many chances, and I've never had as many chances as I had today. But it's just unfortunate it didn't go in. But have to keep going. The good thing that the chances are coming. And I'm gonna bury them.
Well, and that kind of be said for a few different guys. It seemed like there was a few looks, especially in the third period, that I'm sure guys were thinking that could have been the one. Does it feel like if they keep coming at that capacity, that eventually this bubble will burst a little bit?
100%. It's the best league in the world. It's extremely tough to score, and that's why the top guys get paid so much. Because I mean that's the hardest thing to do, score goals. So, but we can get discouraged, and it's always going to break through. And as long as the chances are coming, and we know it's going to go in.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you enjoy about a 1-1 hockey game, being a defenseman?
I don't know. It's a little stressful. It's a tight game. You don't want to get scored on, especially when it's in the third period or whatever. Yeah. But you also want to start generating. You want to help the forwards a little bit, but it's a little bit nerve-wracking, to be honest. But it's a 1-1 game. We knew it was going to be a tight game, so we had to be pretty dialed in down there.
Yeah, it definitely keeps you invested, right? Keeps your head in the game.
It does. Can't get take a shift off ever.
Last one for you, and that's just Dustin Wolf. Especially the early part of the third there. What did you get from him tonight?
This guy's kicking, and
yeah.
Wolfie is doing his thing, and we're just trying to help him as much as we can. Clear some guys in front of net, and he looks like he's got so much confidence, and we're feeding off of him, and we're letting him do his thing, and then rest goes on.
Well, he was feeling it tonight, so it's you. Thanks for joining the desk.
Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate the time. There's Daniil Mirabanov joining us here post game, and good to catch up with the defenseman here as the Calgary Flames find a way to get the 2-1 shootout victory here tonight, the 2 points, and perfect 2-0 so far on this homestand. And maybe we'll go back inside the locker room here and hear from Justin Kirkland. He had the shootout winner. Remember, it was a couple of weeks back, had it here on home ice, and does it again tonight to help solidify the shootout win.
Rasmus just mentioned that game just being such a grind. Is that something you all felt?
Yeah, it definitely was. A lot of battling, competing in that. A lot of chip pucks. It wasn't really your clean game as it normally is, but we battled hard right to the end. As long as it took, we were willing to do that and come out of it with 2 points. We're pretty happy with it.
Someone asked Raz, are they surprised by Dustin Wolf? But you've seen him. I guess you're not at all, right?
No. I've seen this at every level. He's continued to rise to the occasion, and obviously last game getting his first career shutout, and then tonight he stood on his head. He made some massive saves for us all throughout the game, and then obviously in the shootout, pretty stellar. So happy for him. It's great.
Can you speak to just the character of this group when you look at the fact that more third periods and grinding out, how comfortable maybe this group is in those, maybe not pretty games, but ones that are going to come down to maybe those final moments?
Yeah, we're kind of like I said before. We've got a lot of pride in the room. I think everyone was aware of sort of what people are saying about the group before the year, and you know, kind of the expectations, and you know, the guys in here have really bought in, and you know, we bonded well as a group, and like I said, it's pride and compete, and we do it on a daily basis, and you don't want to find yourself in that situation too often. We have, but you know, it's like you said, it just speaks to the character. A lot of really good guys in this room.
So Justin, like before in the second intermission of these games, like what's the temperature, or what are guys saying that kind of maybe spurs you to start well in the third period that's led to these comebacks?
Yeah, I think obviously with some of the success that we've had in the third period, there's a lot of belief in the room, and I think especially tonight, I thought we were, you know, guys are mentioning we're capable of playing better, and we're in a close game, and we know that we've got more to give. So it was just sticking with the game plan. It's not always going to happen, you know, right away and be as pretty as you want it to be. But power play came up huge for us. It was fantastic to see, and you know, we find a way in the end.
Does scoring the shootout winner just feel like old hat now?
No, I don't think it's ever going to feel. You know, the excitement, the adrenaline's always going to be there. But that's, you know, it's credit to Dustin. You know, he makes 2 big saves, and you know, gives me an opportunity, and also you know, our penalty kill in overtime too. Rooney and I think it was Baller and Rasmus that were out there, did one hell of a job getting that job done.
Sorry, Justin, your grind to get to this level has been so well documented. Like, can you describe what it's like to have the puck on your stick, know if you score in that moment, it's over, and just kind of have everyone watching you in the spotlight there?
Yeah, it's I don't think it's something I've gotten used to yet. It's still a little bit of a pinch me moment. Pretty special tonight. Had my parents in the stands, so you know, pretty cool to be able to do it in front of them. You know, they've supported me all throughout this, so yeah, it's exciting. It's nerve-wracking, but you know, it's nice to get the job done tonight.
Okay, thanks, Kirky.
All right, there's some thoughts from Justin Kirkland, and that was obviously a big spot, knowing he could put that shootout to bed, put the Flames into the win column, and he did just exactly that. And maybe just as he was kind of talking about character and the belief, because they've done this so many times, and a few times it's led to shootout losses or overtime losses, but this never quit third period, feel like you can overcome anything, you know, seems to become a real trend for this team, and it happened again here tonight.
Yeah, and if it's even when you don't get the results, as long as you've got the guys in there that are buying in, keeping it close, doing things the right way, that's the biggest thing. And I think your I don't know what you call it, but your stick-to-itness, your dedication to your plan, it's all shown in these very tight games. You know, you get in a tight game like this where you're down 1-0, where it's 1-1 in the third, like Daniil just mentioned, it's nerve-wracking, and you can crumple and you can crack, but what you have to fall back on always as a player is your system. And I think they've done a really nice job of that. We saw some really good defending towards the end of the third period. There was times where there was a couple little breakdowns right around the net, and forwards are coming back to help bail out defensemen and vice versa. So when you got total buy-in by your team, you can get a lot accomplished, and we're slowly seeing that with the Calgary Flames this year. They truly believe that they can win almost every game.
Yeah, and he also mentioned the word confidence in their netminder, and that's kind of what they're seeing, and obviously what Dustin Wolf is portraying here as well. 28 saves here tonight yet again. He gets the victory and the first star performance. Here he is now post-game.
How do you describe, just maybe, I don't know if the zone is the word, but how do you describe sort of the way you're playing the last couple of games?
Yeah, the zone is definitely a great word to use. You know, that's kind of the stuff I work on. You know, the mindfulness side of the game is, you know, if you can reach that zone, you're going to feel good. But, you know, our team battled that out tonight, and we found a way to win.
How do you describe that zone? Is it sort of you're seeing the puck well for you? Is it that you just kind of are reactive? Where is it from your descriptives?
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. You're reading plays well. You're kind of, I don't know if predicting is the right word, but you're kind of envisioning what's going to happen next. You know, you're seeing through bodies. You're just connected, and you know it's a good feeling to have, and one you certainly have to work every day to keep.
And you're connected with that post. We saw a little smooch there. It is your best friend, isn't it? Cross
yeah, it has to be. I mean, you know, very easily could go the other way where it goes posted in. So, you know, we got to thank it a little bit, and it left a nice mark on her. So, give her a little kiss.
What about Mackenzie Weegar with that big block on the first PK?
Yeah, I mean, not even just him. Everybody, especially in the the end of the overtime there. Our special teams were a difference tonight. We killed 2-3 in a row, and we were able to find the power play goal on the lone run we had, and those are game changers, and certainly things we're continuing to work on. It was good tonight.
Listen, with the way this team's playing late in games, is your mindset, keep them at 1, and there's going to be a goal somewhere from this team?
For sure, yeah. I mean, your objective is to keep as many goals off the board as possible, but the tendency of our group so far this year has been, the resiliency, whether we have a good 40 minutes or 40 minutes that maybe we don't like. We find a way in the last 20 minutes to, get something together, and it was a great power play goal there. We were moving the puck around, and, that was good to see.
Dustin, you pride yourself on all that work you do for the shootout. When you played Pittsburgh, you said all the things you're expecting them to do, they didn't do. How were the shooters tonight? Did you have a pretty good beat on what they were going to do?
They were a little better. Everybody in this league is so skilled, so no matter what, some guys have one move they like, some guys have a couple, and you want to have an idea in the back of your mind, but at the same time you got to play hockey. And I stood up on that first one, and I kind of thought Horvath on the second one might have tried to go low since I just stood up, and it just happened to hit my pad.
Did you make Kuzmenko's goal in the shootout?
It was pretty. I would love to see some more of that.
Okay, thanks, Wolfie.
Yeah,
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Cheers to another season of great times and great taste. Celebrate things done well. Original 16, official beer sponsor of the Calgary Flames. Must be legal drinking age.
All right, welcome back inside Flames Postgame Live, brought to you by Original 16. Brendan Parker, Cory Sarich, 2-1, the Flames win in a shootout, and he was just talking about, you, as a goaltender, always gives credit to the guys in front of him. There was some pretty good blocks in there, though. We showed him just rolling through that pack, but you always thank your defenders and then thank the crossbar, too, once there, for Dustin Wolf.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of help out there, and I was just we're both smiling here and giggling. That one that Rasmus took looked like it smarted a little bit, and you can get those in a few different spots, and they don't feel so good. So, hey, as a defenseman, though, you love making a few blocks for your goaltender because they come up with enormous saves for you all year long. So, a little bit of sacrifice, it goes both ways.
But yeah, you know that one didn't feel good at all. And what were you guys say? I think we're gonna. Oh, here's that's late stages of the game. That's Noah Dobson in overtime, right off the bar, and so some appreciation for the defenders and some appreciation for the crossbar as well. You got to give it where it's due.
Yeah, he said left a pretty good little mark. He'll have to get out there and buff it up tomorrow, or
ding.
maybe just leave it as a reminder.
Yeah, just a little friendly reminder that it comes in handy every once in a while. Let's go to the podium now. Here's head coach Ryan Huska as he continues his postgame.
Coach, Rasmus Andersson described that game as a grind. Yeah. What did you think?
A lot the same. I mean, it's kind of the way they play, a little bit the way we play. And I thought at times it's easy to get frustrated in a game like that because we didn't have a lot of success through the neutral zone tonight until a little bit later. But they stuck with it. And turning point for me, start of the third period, we got some big saves from our goaltender that allowed us to get an opportunity in the power play, and they were able to capitalize tonight, which is great for them.
With the power play, Rasmus first said it was just the puck move fast.
Yeah, I think so. That was one of the big things for it, and then we had guys willing to shoot the puck too tonight. So, I mean, it would be nice to have a few more opportunities, but I'm happy that they were able to get something accomplished there tonight. And it's a big moment too for us. We needed that goal.
The penalty kill was also a big part of the story. They played really well.
And again, it's something we've talked a lot about. Like, we're going to be in close games a lot of the nights that we play, and we need special teams to be better for us. And tonight, I thought they were the difference in the game.
What's the rule on when a goalie gets a shutout but then follows it up with a one-goal performance in terms of his next start?
Hey, he's been great. I mean, what can you say? We'll have some conversations after the game, for sure.
Ryan, I know it doesn't count towards his stats, but how important or how much confidence do you think Kuzmenko can build from getting that shootout goal?
Well, my hope is a lot. I mean, he's a good player. He does a lot of things really well, especially when he's feeling it with the puck, and he's able to cut back like nobody else on our team. So sometimes when you get a situation like that and he is able to do something that he feels is helping the team win, it can kind of catapult him to other things. So even in the first period, he had a shot that I think our bench treated it like someone scored. So they're happy for him that he was shooting the puck tonight, because that's what we need him to do. So I am hopeful. I'm hopeful that it's something that he's going to feed off of and look at it as a positive moving forward.
What did you think of Matt Coronado's game tonight?
I thought Matt was very good.
His ice time has gone up quite a bit over the last little bit since he's returned to the AHL. What has he done to earn more trust from you?
He's playing the game the right way, both sides of it, whether it's on the offensive side. I think he's showed a lot of courage, but yet he's not been risky with his puck play. And on the flip side, defensively, he's been committed to doing things the right way. So he's strong and hard in the battle. His position's been good, so we have zero issue putting him out in key situations.
He took a couple of hits today and kind of got right back into the play. Is that one of the things you're kind of talking about with the toughness?
That's him right now. So he's a very determined young man, which we love to see.
The results have been really good, so I'm not trying to be negative, but do you want more goals at this point? Because they've been hard to come by.
Yeah, we do, but without doubt, and it's something that we'll continue to work on and talk about with our players to try to help them find ways to score. So without a doubt, we want to do that, but at the same time, I think it's important that our team recognizes who we are and how we've gotten here, and that's through the hard work and the checking that we've been doing pretty consistently.
I guess you guys have played in a lot of close games, and you mentioned tonight is not the game where your group sort of seemed to stick with it. There's been times in the past when teams aren't scoring where they open it up a bit too much. Are you pleased to see how disciplined your team is being with the system?
Yeah, it's been much better. And like I said, we got the saves to start the third period. If they score early in the third period, the game's probably over the other way. So finding a way to kind of hang around in games like this, I would agree with your comment about it being a little different than the past.
Right. When you get those saves at the start of the third, can you feel it start to turn on the bench? Like, do you almost feel a sense of, okay, our goalie's keeping us in it, we owe him one, can you feel that?
For sure. You even get those comments on the bench from players with the saves that he was making to start the third period. So I don't know, they feel like he's there for them right now, so let's find a way to get this done. So you do hear it for sure.
At the start of the year, Michael Backlund talked about this team could kind of emulate the team from 2014 and 15. Just kind of what your thoughts are, the resilience that team had back then to comparing this team now.
I was just a part of that year from afar, so I wasn't here, so I can't really talk about that one. But I do like the way our guys believe that no matter what the situation is, they can still win games.
Wolf said he feels like he's in a zone right now. Do you sense that from the bench? You sense that from...
For sure. I mean, you do. Just like the fans, I'm sure, do. You guys would upstairs. Like the save he made even off that face-off in the third period where they went seam to Palmieri. Like that's a big save, but he was there before the shot. So we've talked about with him before, when he's beating the pass, he's on. His reads are really good. Okay, thanks, guys.
11 a.m. practice.
Well, a couple things. It was almost like you fed that question into the press room about the goaltending, verbatim.
There were no text messages sent. Nothing.
Eric came up with that all on his own. Eric Francis said the question. I guess that we'll leave that TBD on the starting goaltender for Thursday night. There's some time, so we'll let the coaching staff dwell on that one.
I enjoyed the smile on Huska's face. It was good.
Yeah,
I'm glad the question was asked.
It was well worded by Eric too. We'll give him props for that. The next thing is just, I think everybody would love to see a few more goals, but it has been impressive. And I was just saying, I had this chat with Nazem Kadri on this desk. He was in your very spot just talking about, for sure you'd like to see a few more find the back of the net, but they've found some pretty timely goals here over this stretch. Points in 6 of 7. Sometimes it's resulted in an overtime loss, but it's still a point. And they've scraped and clawed some important points here in this stretch.
Yeah, and being able, like tonight, to be able to get one late in the third period, that's a big deal, right? Especially when you're down. Sometimes the momentum shifts and you don't get a chance. I know it's a power play goal, and it's about time the power play comes through. And I completely agree with what he's saying. Like, as a hockey team, you don't care how you get the points. You truly don't. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Some of your more offensive guys, they do feel a little beaten down at times when the puck isn't going in. But I think that is alleviated by getting points and by having team success. You know, everyone can still kind of stay the course. If it's a lot of 1-goal losses or 2-goal losses, then it's maybe a different story. So there's something to be said for, like you said, timeliness of the goals and then scrapping out all those extra points.
Yep. Points in 6 of 7 now this stretch for the Calgary Flames. Haven't scored more than 3 in any of those, but they haven't allowed much either. And particularly on home ice, we're averaging about a goal like 1.25, I think, in the last 4 home games, and now that'll dwindle even a little bit lower than that after tonight. So,
and that just alludes to the fact that when you're not getting the offense you need, then your goaltenders have to step up, and that's been obviously something we've talked about a lot this year.
Very much the case so far. Dustin Wolf, Dan Vladar, they have brought it, and most recently, Dustin Wolf, thanks to 28 saves tonight and a first-star performance, the Calgary Flames find a way to get it done here on home ice against the New York Islanders in a, we'll use all the words, grindy, sleepy / whatever you want to use. You want to throw in?
Pick your favorite dwarf, whichever one.
The 7 Dwarfs. 2-1 the final tonight as the Calgary Flames win it. Next up, another New York opponent as the Rangers come rolling into town. Thursday night, 7 p.m. start. They'll look to make it 3 in a row here on home ice. The Rangers and the Flames back at the Dome as this 4-game homestand continues. Thanks for watching Flames Postgame Live, brought to you by Original 16. We'll see you on Tuesday night.